Give us your feelings on when you received the full scholarship from Eastern Illinois.
Well, I felt like it was a great accomplishment, because all my hard work paid off. Like I said, but I still felt like I had more to do. I wanted to make sure that, I solidified myself, not just as a scholarship guy, but as, the starter, at the cornerback position. So, and one thing, my teammates will tell you about me is that I was going to work hard. Nobody was going to, outwork me. I was going to be there. And sprint time, I'm at the top. I'm in the top tier of the guys, coming in. Coming in for, the drills and everything like that. I was going to make sure I shined the best. I was going to make sure my steps were right. I was going to make sure I was in the right position. I was going to make sure I was on top of the defense. I was going to make sure that I knew where my safety was going to be at all times. I was just going to know. So I was excited. I wanted to come in and play, and because like I said, the year before I was pretty much on like a rotation. Because a receiver that we had there ended up getting moved over his senior year to DB. And, I would kind of, rotate here and there with him. So that following year, I wanted to make sure, okay, I want to make sure I'm the starter here. Let's solidify this upcoming spring. So that's what I ended up doing and ended up starting.
Okay. What kind of talents did you play against at Eastern Illinois?
Okay, this is where it gets fun. At Eastern, from my freshman year through my senior year, I seen guys like Brian Cox that played at Western Illinois. He was a great linebacker. Yeah. Played in the NFL. Rodney Harrison,
Western.
Also played at Western Illinois. I went up head-to-head with Dedrick Ward 2 years. My first run in my junior year, which was probably my worst game I ever had in my entire life. Him and Kurt Warner, those two guys. Shoot, man, who else? I know I'm forgetting some people. Man, boy, I know I'm forgetting a lot of people, man. But those are the guys that I know just kind of stand out, that were in our conference. And like I said, we had some pretty nice talent. I played up against some, strong competition here and there. Kenny Shedd, played up against him. That was actually my sophomore year. Actually, they were actually the #1 team in the nation that year that they came to our house and we beat them.
Northern Iowa.
That was Northern Iowa, yeah. That was a good time for me. So, we played up against some good people, man. And I didn't, like I said, you either back down or you kind of go into a hole. And then at a game I went and played against Dedrick Ward that first time. That was a pretty bad experience for me, man. We went up into the dome and him and Kurt Warner just kind of went to work, dude. And like I said, I learned a lot about my coaches. I learned a lot about, myself and how I need to handle stuff, as a player, and I grew up that day, and I could probably get into more of that later, but without pointing fingers,
Gotcha.
Because it was a dirty ride that day. Long ride home though, boy, but it was a dirty ride that day, going in and playing at Cedar Falls.
Now your senior year, you got a lot of focus on, I know, going to the next level because you have a lot of confidence in yourself. What is your thoughts on playing that season? I know you don't want to get hurt. You want to get some good numbers. How do you maintain your focus of getting your job done for your team and also preparing yourself for that next level?
Well, here's the thing you have to remember, especially when you're getting recruited. If you're winning, they're coming around. If you're successful as a unit, they'll be there. The recruits, the scouts, whoever, they'll be there. Well, what the tricky part about my last year was, and I call it my last year, not my senior year, was I was actually considered a redshirt freshman that sophomore year when I came in. Now, reason being, this is why I tell you need to handle your business. You need to cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Don't rely on nobody else to do stuff for you. But what you need to know is that if you have touched the field as a freshman, all right, you are no longer considered a redshirt, all right? Now, when I asked, look, the bulletin, the program and stuff came out, And I looked at it, and I'm like, we got it mailed to the house. I looked at it, and they told me, and I looked in the book, and I'm like, redshirt freshman, I'm a true sophomore. How is this possible? I called down to the office, and I'm like, hey, coach, what's the story with this? I called it was one of the assistant coaches. I'm like, hey, am I a redshirt freshman? What's the deal? They're like, oh yeah, you're a redshirt freshman. Don't worry about it. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I was like, okay. So I hung up the phone, and I didn't think anything of it after that. So, come my last season, right, we have a new AD come in. And, I played my whole senior year, and, I have the corner on the other side, he's getting, looks from the NFL and everything like that, It was all about him. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let him get his shine because, hey, he deserves it, he earned it, whatever. Next year, I'm going to be at the forefront. I'm going to rock the house. I'm going to knock it out, right? So, come at the end of the semester, I have an exit interview with, one of the ADs. And I'm like, why am I here? And he's like, didn't you step on the field your freshman year? And I'm like, oh, wow. Are you kidding me? So it came back to bite me.
Gotcha.
So, all in all, my whole big to-do with playing in the league and everything else was basically getting flushed down the toilet at that moment. So at that time, I was shell-shocked because my whole life was this. This is what I wanted to do with my life. I did everything that I needed to do, and wasn't trying to, cross nobody or anything like that. And now what I've been working for is now flushed down the toilet. So what do you do? What do you do? And I had nothing to do. I mean, there was nothing I could do to appeal it. There was nothing I could do to, get anything changed. All I could do was just go through my one more year. I had to write an appeal to, just get the, scholarship money just to finish up, my last year because I ended up changing majors. And just sit there. And what was real sickening to me was that I was sitting in a classroom one day, and every Thursday or Friday, if we have a home game, you'll hear the band out practicing and stuff like that, right? And that just kind of gears you up, like, man, all right, we're getting ready to play, right? I'm hearing that, man, and I'm like, I'm not about to hit the field. I'm not gonna go out. And man, I was sick, dude. I was sick. And, granted, I would walk in, every home game, I would be right there on the sideline just watching my boys play and stuff like that and just looking at what was going on and stuff like that. And I was just like crushed, dude, crushed. But what was tripped out to me, though, what kind of woke me up was that, one of our guys, he was a senior, he went down with a knee injury. And I looked at it and I was like, whoa, you know what, it could really be over because he's not playing. He's actually, he's actually in the trenches now, but he can't play, He's lost his ability to play. So I was like, man, all right, I got to be grateful. I just got to be grateful, you know what I'm saying? Because it could be a lot worse. So I ended up graduating that year, and I just had to, just suck it up, man, and just figure out, what I was going to do with my life at that point in time. And like I said, man, you have to be able to handle your business, know where you're at. Know your class schedule, know how many credits you need to graduate, know your, if you're going to be eligible or not, take care of your business, man, get a hold of your film, granted, yeah, they have, access to, the big vault and everything like that, but, hey, if you need, cut-ups and highlights or game film or whatever, don't hesitate to go in and ask for it because, I mean, hey, you were there, you put your time in. Don't be afraid to ask for what's yours.